students, welcome back to short video lectures on Unit 5, that is multivibrator and time-based generators. So in the last video we have seen the problems, that is day 5, one video we have seen the problems, that means a stable multivibrator. We calculated the time period and frequency and duty cycle. So we are continuing the same problems on a stable multivibrator. Here we are going to see the problems on designing of a stable multivibrator in symmetric circuit. Okay, so here is the problem. Design a symmetric, it is not asymmetric. Design a symmetric collector coupled a stable multivibrator to generate a square wave of 2 kHz having peak to peak amplitude of 12 volts, where HFE minimum equal to 30, VC SAT equal to 0.2, IC SAT equal to 2 milliamperes. So here the first step is we need to write down the given data. So the frequency is given as 2 kHz, F equal to 2 kHz, and here they mentioned the output amplitude is 12 volts. We know the output of a stable multivibrator is a rectangular wave. When you consider symmetric, of course it is a square wave. Whether it is square wave or rectangular wave, we know the voltage levels we have, one is close to 0 and other is close to your VCC. So here peak to peak amplitude is given as 12 volts. That means the supply voltage VCC equal to 12 volts. And also they are given this HFE minimum. HFE minimum, you can call this as a gain, current gain. HFE minimum equal to 30. And VC SAT and IC SAT, saturated values of voltages and currents are given. Next, we need to find R1, R2, C1, C2, RC1 and RC2 values. See here the problem is design a symmetric collector coupled a stable multivibrator. Whenever you come across this kind of problem, that means whenever your problem is starting with design, that means you are asked to design any circuit, that means indirectly or directly designing means you need to find out that circuit element values according to or satisfying the given conditions. Okay, so here given condition is we need to generate a 2 kHz output or square wave with 12 volts. Okay, so this is the requirement. So as per this requirement, we need to find out the circuit element circuit element values. That is what designing means. So we need to design symmetric or stable multivibrator. When you say symmetric, that means we need not to find different values for R1 and R2. Symmetric means both R1 and R2 are maintaining same value and C1 and C2 are maintaining same value. So that R1 C1 will become R2 C2. That is what our symmetric circuit condition. So we need to design symmetric or stable multivibrator. Hence R1 equal to R2 equal to R, C1 equal to C2 equal to C. We need to assume like that. And whenever this R1 C1 equal to R2 C2, then the transistor on times T1 and T2 both are same. That equal to T by 2. How you got this T by 2? Because we know T1 plus T2 equal to capital T. When you have T1 plus T2 equal to capital T equation and T1 equal to T2, then obviously the T1 equal to T2 equal to T by 2. Actually this everything we discussed in the lecture videos and as well as in the previous video. So if you are having some doubt or if you are having some confusion in this lecture, that means either you might not be watched my previous videos or else you need to watch them again. Okay, so now we know that capital T time period equal to 1 by frequency. So frequency is given as 2 kHz, then you will be getting 0.5 millisecond. 1 by kilohertz will become millisecond. 1 by 2 will become 0.5. That is how we got 0.5 millisecond. So now T1 equal to T2 equal to, as per that equation, T by 2, that means 0.5 by 2, that is 0.25 millisecond. So as of now, we derived the time period of the expected output, okay, from the given frequency data. So, and we know for symmetric astable, the time period is given as 1.386 into RC. We derived this expression in the astable multivibrator derivation part, time period derivation part, that is already we discussed in the video. So if you are having doubt how we got this 1.386 RC, please go back to that video. So now if you substitute this capital T 0.5 millisecond, we will be getting RC value like this. So we will be using this equation in the next slides to calculate the C after calculating R. So let us consider this equation as 1. So now our goal is to find R. So in order to find out the R value, that means R1 equal to R2 equal to R value, first let us derive RC1 equal to RC2 equal to RC. That means same value. For this I am going to consider one of the transistor as a as it in saturation region. Okay. So when you consider Q2 in on situation, that means in saturation region, then you can apply a KVL from this power supply to RC2 and Q2. So it started at VCC and ended at ground, so that you are forming a loop. Then you can write down this KVL as supply voltage is equal to drops in the loop, or voltage drops in the loop, or voltages in the loop. One drop is across this RC2 and one voltage is across this collector and emitter of Q2, that is VC2, indicated as VC2. Then you can write the KVL as VCC equal to IC sat RC2 plus VC2. Here we know whenever a transistor is on, the current is indicated as a saturated value, and that current is flowing in collector terminal. That is the reason we are representing it as a IC sat. So you may have doubt how here you may not see the loop. Actually there is a loop. Let us see how. So first we started at VCC, and VCC positive terminal is connected to RC2. Okay, and VCC negative terminal, obviously it has to connect to ground. Generally we don't represent that negative terminal. Whenever you represent this power supply VCC, generally we used to write plus VCC. That means the other terminal minus is connected to ground. So this minus is connected to ground. Now RC2 second terminal is connected to this VC2. Okay, this is VC2. VC2 is nothing but the voltage between collector and emitter. So emitter is already connected to ground, so I am connecting that negative terminal of VC2 to the ground. So now you got the loop. The same whatever you are seeing at left side, the arrow direction, that is what loop. In order to understand the right side, I have given you a loop. So now we have a current flowing in this loop, that is IC sat. This is how we got that KVL equation. So now VCC is equal to IC sat RC2 plus. So now what is the value of VC2? As Q2 is saturated, you can consider this VC2 as a saturated value. And how it can be represented? Because VC2 is the voltage between collector and ground, and that ground is connected to emitter, obviously you are calculating the voltage across collector and emitter when that corresponding transistor is saturated. That means you are calculating the saturated value between collector and emitter, that is VC sat. So now from this equation you can write down RC2. Okay, so you take care of units, volts by milliamps. Obviously we will getting kilo ohms. So RC2 is 4.9 kilo ohms. So as we discussed, as it is symmetric, RC1 equal to RC2 equal to 4.9 kilo ohms. So now let us calculate R1 equal to R2 equal to R. For this again I am considering the same circuit Q2 side, but now I am considering other KVL, that is from VCC through R1 and through base we are reaching ground. So this is what KVL. VCC equal to voltage across R1, IB sat R1. Why you are considering this time IB sat? Because whatever this loop is entering into the base. Okay, the current flowing through R1 is nothing but the current flowing into the base of the Q2. Again, this Q2 is saturated. Again, you can consider that current as a saturated current. So IB sat R1 will give the voltage drop across R1 plus VB2. So again, you can find out the how you got loop. First we started at VCC, then VCC plus is connected to R1 and negative is connected to ground, and R1 second terminal is connected to VB2 and VB2 minus terminal is connected to ground. Okay, so now again here VB2 is nothing but the voltage across base and ground is connected to emitter. That means we are calculating voltage across base and emitter, and this Q2 is saturated. You can consider it as a saturated value. VB is sat. From this you will be getting this kind of equation. R1 is equal to VCC minus VB sat by IB sat. But in the given problem we didn't find IB sat value. So in order to find out IB sat, whenever you are doing these kind of problems, we need to consider some assumptions, some considerations. That consideration is IB sat, that means saturated base current, equal to 1.5 times of minimum base current which is required to make the transistor on. And we know this IB minimum equal to IC sat by HFE minimum. As I said in the starting, HFE minimum is nothing but current gain. Current gain is nothing but output current by input current. For this Q2 transistor or whatever Q1 transistor, all these are common emitter transistors. For common emitter transistor, the current gain is nothing but collector current by base current. Then you can write down the base current equal to IC by HFE minimum. From this you can find out the IB minimum because we already know IC sat. And once you got IB minimum, you can get the IB sat, 1.5 times of IB minimum. Please take care of units. So IB sat equal to 0.1 milliamps. So now you can substitute this value in the above equation, so that you will be getting R1 and R2 equal to 113 kilo ohm. See, please consider the units. You have volts by milliamps. That means you will be getting kilo ohms. So now we got R1 equal to R2 equal to R value, that is 113 kilo ohms. So let us go back to our in order to calculate C, let us go back to equation 1. So in order to find out C1 equal to C2 equal to C, after finding this R, we can use this equation 1, RC equal to 0.36075 millisecond. In this, if you substitute R value, then you will get C value. Here millisecond by kilo ohms. That means that millisecond by kilo ohms will become micro. How? Milli means 10 to the power of minus 3. Kilo is in the denominator, that is 10 to the power of 3. When it goes to numerator, it will become again 10 to the power of minus 3. Already there is a 10 to the power of minus 3 and this 10 to the power of minus 3. Both the powers will be added. You will be getting 10 to the power of minus 6. That is how you got micro. Obviously seconds by ohms will gives the farad. So now you got C value. C value as 3.2 nanofarad. I think you know how we got these two steps. When you have this 0.003192, when you shift this decimal point towards right side, okay, 3 times, that means you are multiplying that value with 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay, already 10 to the power of minus 6 is there. When you multiply it with 10 to the power of minus 3, 10 to the power of minus 6 into 10 to the power of minus 3 will give 10 to the power of minus 9. That is what? Nanofarad. Okay. So therefore RC1 is equal to RC2 equal to 4.9 kilo ohm, R1 equal to R2 equal to 113 kilo ohm, C1 equal to C2 equal to 3.2 nanofarad. So this is what the problem. Actually here we have seen symmetric collector coupled stable multivibrator design. In the next video we will be seeing an asymmetric circuit